Hello, everyone. I got something a bit different that I wanted to do. It's something that I've considered doing on and off for a little while now, and just haven't done it yet. No realistic. There's no realistically good reason why I haven't done it yet. That barely made sense, but whatever. Basically, I've wanted to sell off my Yu-Gi-Oh collection for a little while now, and basically sell off cards to then take the money that I get back, put that into packs, in which then I would use to open up, resell those cards, and slowly use that money from packs I've opened up and cards that I've sold to sustain my YouTube channel. And then once I get enough followers on YouTube and which I can start making money, use the money that I make off of YouTube to then keep going and expand to a higher region, higher area, higher whatever, profitability, whatever you want to call it or whatever you want to say. So it's something that I've toyed around with the idea with for a little while. Always was the plan. I think I've mentioned it several times before throughout my YouTube journey on all of my accounts, in which that was always a goal and was always something that was intended to take place, but I just never did it. And now is the time in which I would like to start doing it. I'm at a decent enough point in time in my life in which I have enough freedoms to do so, and I am the highest amount of motivated to do so, and I think this is a really good time. I do have multiple YouTube accounts. I think people at this point in time should know that information. So this is actually being posted on 2 of my accounts just because I want a lot of people to see it, number 1. Number 2, I think it's actually really good and useful information to put on both accounts for right now. So it'll go on my main Yu-Gi-Oh account, which is Gimmick Quattro on YouTube, and it will also go on my multiple card opening account, which is called the TCG Gimmick. And on there, I will also probably post other cards that I want to sell to: Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh, Magic, not Yu-Gi-Oh, well, yes, that, Dragon Ball, stuff like that, 2 other card games that I have. I'll probably do a separate video for each of those as well on that account, so people can see that as well. And I'll only take the money that I earned from each of those things and put them back into their individual things that I got them from. So more likely than not, the pack opening portion will take place on my main account, but I still want to have the journey shown on both accounts and have the other stuff on the other account as well. So right here is my Google Docs sheet that I have set up, just so I can kind of show you guys how I plan on doing it, and I will run through my thought process about how I want to do it, so you guys can follow yourselves if you want to. You guys can do things a little bit differently, and what I would like to do is, like, once a week, do an update video on if I've sold anything, what I've sold, how much I've gotten back, like start to slowly fill out the rest of this, and so on and so forth type of a deal. And like maybe every week or every 2 weeks, I will post more cards, increase the list as I'm selling things off, get some more stuff up there, and maybe try to keep about 10 to 20 posts at all times, or have it be that way every week or every 2 weeks, like I said. So very simple how this sheet is set up: card name, the set that it's from, the TCG player price that I'm pulling from the app. I'm not actually going on to TCG player and typing it in. This is just the price shown on the app when you put in the card. Prices will slightly vary if you go on the actual website itself and search it up, but this is like a relatively range that's good. Then this is the eBay prices that I see. How I'm determining eBay prices, by the way, is I go onto eBay, I type in the card with the set, hit sold items, and I will take items sold within the last month. That's the range that I will grab, and that's the range that I will be posting from, which this is wrong now that I think about it. So each of these cards have been listed and sold around these price ranges on eBay. And that does not include any shipping fees or taxes. This is before all of that, just the raw. That's all I really care about, because I'm not shipping when I sell my cards. I'm only doing my cards as in-person meetup or whatever in the area. And I'm also selling through Facebook Marketplace, which is another big thing to note. All of these are everything that's posted on Facebook Marketplace in my area, so I can just do meetup and stuff like that, so I don't have to worry about figuring out prices and stuff like that for shipping cards and for buying supplies and whatever else. So these are the individual prices that I'll be selling each of the cards at. If you see something like this, the 5 for 3, that literally means I will sell all 3 of those cards for $5, or individual 1 card for $2. It's listed that way on Facebook Marketplace. When I sell a card, I will have its sold price right here, and I'll also put here if I've lost any money or gained any money, so it can also kind of keep track of if I'm making a profit or not in any way, shape, or form. Obviously, it's going to be a while before I see a genuine profit, which I can hold it off to the side and reinvest that. The only major way I might see something like that happen is if I can sell off a bunch and then buy something and then pull like an $80 card and then be able to sell that off and not have to reinvest nearly as much and whatever else. So the goal is to maybe only spend, like if I sell $40 worth of stuff in 1 week, then maybe only spend like $20, $30 worth of it to buy product again to try to make back the money, and then try to save the rest of it, $10, $20, to reinvest into something much higher, like a booster box or a case, so I can really kind of go for much bigger hits, and then even more down the line be able to save that money so I can buy things like booster box and stuff like that, but not to open, but to sit on. So that'll come down the line too once I kind of make it there. So obviously for this first video, it really is more or less just talking about the thought process, getting you guys involved, letting you guys kind of see into my mind a little bit, see how I want to do things, and just kind of throwing that out there, giving you guys an idea. And as I expand and as I grow, hopefully the way that I do things will grow and get better too. Maybe I will start going to the world of selling through eBay or TCG Player or on Facebook Marketplace and starting adding all that. But the biggest thing about this is, and the reason why I want to do this series, is I don't feel like I see it enough in which content creators actually kind of show how they go from nothing to something by selling cards. I think a lot of the time you see a video once they're already established, it's like, oh, I sold cards and this is kind of how I did it, but you don't really get to see the journey. So I actually want to show you guys the journey that I'm going on to start selling everything and hopefully seeing a sustainable business out of it slowly. Now, I'm not saying that I'm not going to put my own money into it still. I will. If I do that, I will show that as well. If I buy something using cards that I've sold, that will be a separate video that will be labeled as, hey, I don't know what it'll be labeled as, but it's like, oh, money that I earned from selling cards opening or something like that, and showing if I make a profit or a loss in that regard as well, because that's also a big thing. If I sell $20 worth of cards and I buy $20 worth of profit, am I going to make or lose that amount that I've sold? And that's another really big thing, another really big risk about this, is being able to do that. Now, obviously, if I put my own money into it, I will be selling off those cards in this way as well. So currently, all of these cards are something that I've already had in my collection that I spent my own money on, which maybe I will label that as well. You know, did I spend my own money on it? Yes or no? And if I did spend my own money on it, have that labeled. And if I didn't spend my own money on it, have that also labeled. If I can figure out a proper way to do that, then I will do that as well. But yeah, that's kind of really it. This is not going to be like a super heavily edited series either, I don't think, because it will be a lot of just raw data, just looking at spreadsheet like this, kind of showing different things and whatever else, and showing the profit and showing how well I'm doing and stuff like that. And it's not going to be easy. I've tried to sell on and off for years, not years, probably about 2 years now. I've done it, which I've posted things that maybe probably made 20 or 30 listings and haven't sold very much. I did recently sell a card, and I will actually have that put down here eventually as well. I sold a Flow Under Ease something of adventure, Advent of Adventure, I think the card is. I sold that for like $15, and I also sold a Dimension Shifter, the secret rare from M21, I think it was, for $5. Those were each selling for $15 to $25 is what the Flow Under Ease card was selling for. And the Dimension Shifter was being sold at around $5 on eBay at the time. This was only like a few days ago when I did it. So I made $20, but that money also went right back into paying my bills. So that's part of the reason why it's not on here. I think any money that I'm actually going to pay off bills, I might not show. Or maybe I have it labeled as not being reinvested, because part of this is as a way to also help me out in life as well. If I need to spend this money and not reinvest it into cards, that's totally fine, because sometimes it's more important to take care of myself than it is to do anything else. Also, I want to clarify the reason why I picked these cards specifically these are cards that are being shown in the meta, in meta-relevant decks. I think I went through two decks last night. I looked up their cards, went through my collection, pulled up the cards that I had, and posted them. Now, I didn't post every single one. Like, I actually have 4 copies of Baron Blossom. I have 4 copies of her. I'm only selling 3 because most decks can only play in a playset of 3. So once I go back to resell again, then I'll probably have that be like a different thing. I'll have like dates sold and stuff too, so it'll be like a different thing as well. And whatever else. So I do date posted. This would be 1205. 1205. Either way, sorry, I don't mean to do this. So maybe I'll use that as a way to reference when I've sold cards and stuff like that too. So right now I only want to do enough in which people can actually buy it as a playset if they want to, and not go over that, because most people don't want to buy 4 cards. Sometimes they just want to buy the playset. That's why I did it in groups of 3 or lower. So yeah, that's like the biggest thing I want to do is probably go through the top 3 to 5 meta-relevant decks, find the cards in my collection that I have that are part of those decks, get them posted. They're more likely to sell, and that's the important part too. I want to be able to find cards I can actually sell that people would want to buy to put in their decks today. Whether it's in the side deck or in the main deck, I think both are still important to sell. Side deck might be a little bit hard to sell because not everybody plays the same side deck, but some people might. That's where you're probably going to have the most amount of fluctuation, I feel like, per deck. So, yeah. But tell me what you guys think about a series like this. It is definitely a little new. It's a little interesting. I don't know what I want to call this yet. Like, bottom up. I don't know, bottom to the top, or Wow, that sounds really bad. I don't know. I haven't thought of a proper name yet that I want to call this series. Maybe it's just like my Yu-Gi-Oh journey or my selling journey and whatever else. So either way, I'll figure out something. It'll be in the whatever, in the title of this video. And if it changes over time, it changes over time. Somebody might come up with a better idea. If they do, fantastic. If they don't, whatever. I'll just stick with whatever I have as time goes on. But yeah, this was a little bit longer of a video than I wanted it to be, which is okay. It's going to happen. I'm going to try to keep these anywhere between 10 and 20 minutes long, probably. This one's about 15 right now. Maybe it'll be a little less. So, but that's it for this episode, or for the beginning of this, you know. Thank you guys for listening to my ramblings. Again, if you are interested in watching something like this, or, you know, talking to me further, if you have experience yourself or whatever, I'd love to hear about that in the comments. Or if you have me on one of my social medias, TikTok or Instagram, let me know there too. We can always talk as well. And whatever else, or if you have any questions, anything like that, put them in the DMs. I will answer them during next video as well if you guys want. Either way, thank you guys. Really does mean a lot if you've watched this far. And if you want to still watch some of my content, I will have videos posted up on the screen right now, in which you can go check out other pack openings that I've done and things like that. See ya.